Bill here. Today is Wednesday, July 26, 2023. We want to talk about today, start a talk about 10 reasons to invest in gold. We'll only get through 5 of the reasons today, but stay tuned because I think all 10 are relevant reasons, and you'll easily understand why. This week has been an up week for gold, up just a fraction, down a little bit for all the other metals. But when we look at the 1-year numbers, it's pretty impressive for the most part. Up 16 for gold, 35 for silver, 35%. I think 11 for platinum. Palladium is the only outlier. It's down over the past year. But some pretty good performance there. All the details are in the write-up. But let's talk about, today we'll cover 5 reasons why gold is a good place to consider investing some of your hard-earned dollars. One of the reasons is gold is considered a hedge. It's a hedge against highly inflated currencies. Now when I say highly inflated, what I mean is that over time the air comes out of them. Kind of like a tire. Have you ever noticed that every so often you've got to check the air in your tires? Somehow, rarely if ever does the air pressure in the tires go up any significant amount. But if anything happens, the air tends to come out of them. I recently helped a lady, had some of her tires were low, and the highest pressure was up to 44 pounds per square inch, and one of her tires was down to 8. So I put them all at 36. But air doesn't tend to go into the tires, it only comes out. And over time, that's what happens to most paper currencies as well. And gold is not like that. It tends to hold its value over time. It's highly liquid. Gold is also able to be converted into local currency just about anywhere in the world, including here in the United States. So it's liquid. It's something that you can hang on to and exchange for paper or local currency whenever you need to. Now it also has, gold has an indefinite shelf life. It is virtually perpetual. We can only store so many cheeseburgers or so much pizza for future years. Even canned vegetables, they have a shelf life of, just a few years. But we can set gold, put it in storage, either locally or in a vault somewhere. And over time, whenever we have need of other things for daily living, we can always exchange that gold, and it's a store of value. You can store paper currencies, but as we've just discussed, the value doesn't store very well over time, whereas it does with gold. Gold is also a tangible asset. There's a lot of people dealing in electronic assets today, cryptocurrencies. Gold is not dependent upon the electrical grid working or a computer server somewhere, going down. It doesn't matter. Gold is gold. And when you have it, it's tangible. It's worth something today. It'll be worth something tomorrow. Whether the electricity is working or not, whether someone's computer crashes or not, gold is gold. And one of the reasons that gold is gold and it continues to hold its value and it holds up against inflated paper currencies is because there's no counterparty risk. One of the arguments against gold is people say, well, it doesn't pay interest. Actually, when compared against the cost of living allowance increases since that program began, gold has outpaced those interest rates over time. But even aside from that, what good is it to hold a bond that's paying 8 to 10% interest when the person that borrowed the money becomes unable to pay, then what value is that bond? So there's no risk of someone not being able to pay. Gold's value is inherent in itself. It doesn't matter what anyone else does. When you own the gold, you own a store of value that protects your purchasing power over time. It's also highly liquid and can be converted into local currency, whatever that currency happens to be. And many times people around the world, they've lived through 2 or 3 different currencies in their lifetime. And thankfully, many of those types of nations, the citizens hold gold as insurance against that very thing. Stay tuned. Next week we're going to share 5 more reasons, bringing the total to 10, why it's important and a good idea to invest in gold. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day.